DC Fandom. Just wow. There were so many interesting projects that they announced and, premiered. And as much as I love to talk about all of them, we don't have all day, and I do have other reviews to talk about. I'm going to only talk about like 8 of them because, not just because they're the ones I'm most excited for, but also because they're the projects that we got to see the most out of. And so if anyone was hoping for me to talk about the Super Sons animated film that was announced, or the stuff with Milestone, or Batman the Caped Crusader, you're gonna have to wait a little bit, since I just feel like it'd be better if we actually got some more information regarding those and maybe some footage. But as for the stuff I'm gonna talk about, well, let's start with Peacemaker. Yes, the HBO Max spin-off to James Gunn's Suicide Squad. This was, pretty fun to watch. The trailer was really good, and, the story is, at first it seems pretty simple, but it's James Gunn, so there's gonna be some twists and turns. Where Peacemaker, after nearly dying in the end of the Suicide Squad film, he is now under a new mission, and we get to learn a little bit about himself a little bit. We learn more about his backstory, his relationship with his father, which is definitely not great, and we also see him teaming up with the Vigilante. Now, it's not clear which version of the Vigilante we're getting. Of course, he's dressed very akin to the Adrian Chase version, but they do have the tendency to kind of mix and match different types of characters, so he could be one of the other Vigilantes in here. It looks really cool. The humor is very on point. The action looks great. It looks like we're going to be seeing some characters from the Suicide Squad film besides the immediate cast. It looks really cool. I like that we're diving more into Peacemaker storyline, and that he might be going a bit of a redemption arc after what he did in Suicide Squad. So and of course, go check out Suicide Squad before you watch this, because it's gonna be very crucial in there. Next up is Harley Quinn. Yep, the DC Universe turned HBO Max original series is coming back for season 3, but not for a while. So due to the pandemic, there were of course some complications. We didn't get to see too much, but we did get some rough cuts of what we're going to be expecting, and it looks pretty cool. We're going to be seeing the Court of Owls this season. We get to see more of Harley and Ivy's relationship after the events of season 2. It looks like we're also going to be adapting elements of the comic storyline that's going on right now, which is a bit of a tie-in to the show called Harley Quinn Kiss Bang Kill, which is pretty hilarious. And also surprisingly, we're also getting Dr. Psycho. I'm wondering if this is going to be him rejoining the team, like they make up, or if he's still going to be a villain for Harley. But I'm really excited to see how this goes. Next up, we have Catwoman Hunted. Now, Catwoman Hunted is going to be the next big animated film after the Injustice film, which that's a whole other story. But for Catwoman, it's pretty good. The story seems to be that Selena, after a attempt robbery, ends up working with Batwoman to take on the organization Leviathan. Now, it's unclear which version of Leviathan we're getting, if we're getting Leviathan that was akin to the Grant Morrison Batman Inc. series, or if we're going to get one more to the Bendis storyline Leviathan. It's unclear on that one, but we do know that one of the members of Leviathan is Minerva, who you guys will know as Cheetah. There's only a handful of fights between Catwoman and Cheetah, so this will be pretty neat. Okay, next up, we have the Flash movie, or the Flashpoint movie, or whatever the hell they're calling it. When it comes to this, I'm optimistic on it, but I will say the trailer made it feel more like a Tim Burton Batman movie, which makes sense since Michael Keaton will be returning as the '89 Batman. And from the look of the story, it seems that in here, unlike the comic storyline Flashpoint, which they say they're basing this off of, Barry doesn't go back in time to be with his mom, but instead he actually just goes to a different Earth, and I guess he takes the life of the Barryana of that world, but something goes wrong, and so Barry has to fix it. From the cinematography, it looks pretty cool. Again, there's a lot of callbacks to the Tim Burton Batman film. They even do some music cues from there. We also, of course, get to see Supergirl, who in this universe is the daughter of Superman from Superman Lives, the Tim Burton film that never happened. It's gonna be kind of cool. Next up, we're gonna talk about both these projects, that being Black Adam and Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Now, the reason why I'm gonna talk about, these stories simultaneously is because, well, mostly because we kind of get, just a very little footage of what's actually gonna be happening, but enough where I feel like they're worth talking about. Plus, also, they do have a connection to each other, both getting the powers of Shazam. But though they're very different films, of course. Just from Black Adam alone, you can tell this is gonna be a much more darker, more serious film. This is a movie that we've all been waiting for years. years. Like, I remember actually reading about this movie back when Wizard Magazine was still a thing. And yeah, it looks like that we are definitely getting something very comic accurate, which makes sense. Again, they've had like decades to work on this, and you know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson has been really wanting to get this project off the ground. So yeah, when we see Teth Adam in here, just from his introduction scene, it is intense. Right as he shows up, he pretty much takes a guy by the throat and pulls a Mortal Kombat finishing move on them. So this is definitely gonna be a much more darker tale than what we're gonna be seeing in Shazam. And also we get some glimpses of the Dr. Fate helmet, glimpses of the costumes of Hawkman and Cyclone. So yeah, it looks pretty cool there. When it comes to Shazam, Fear of the Gods, pretty interesting. From this story, it seems that they're going to be using original characters for the villains, which is kind of a gamble, but the team on this, you know, they've done some pretty damn good work, so I got some confidence in this. The costumes look great. I love we're going for more comic accurate costumes, akin to the classic Captain Marvel. Hopefully Billy actually gets a name in here, because they are sticking with the thing of when he says Shazam, he turns into Billy Batson whether or not he wants or not. Man, that just sounds so weird. You can tell this is not scripted. It looks like we're going to be diving more into the family dynamic as they all become heroes. So this is going to be very much akin to what Jeff Johns was doing in his last run of Shazam, which was really good, and I recommend checking it out. And it seems that we're going to be seeing the Wizard again, so really curious to see how that goes. So because last time we saw him, he turned into dust in the film. So yeah. Next, we got some update stuff regarding, you know, what they showed last year. First being Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad looks great. The game looks really fun. I'm still kind of wondering if this is still supposed to take place in the Arkhamverse, as apparently that was the original plan. As the game itself, it looks pretty cool. Essentially, the plot is that you're going to start off playing as a squad doing the usual mission where like they are probably doing some very like crazy espionage stuff, but the mission changes to them having to deal with Brainiac and facing off against a brainwashed Justice League. Now, it does seem that not every member of the League has been brainwashed, because Green Lantern and Wonder Woman do seem to be assisting, but Superman and the Flash definitely are. In fact, we even have some moments where Flash is talking with the squad, though it's unclear if this is just a corrupt version of the Flash talking or if this is Brainiac talking through them. But either way, it's very interesting. We also see a little bit of the gameplay, and of course there's some humor in there. It looks all right. Still not sure how to feel about the whole thing with Captain Boomerang having kind of a weird speed ability, but you know, maybe it'll make more sense as we learn more about the game. Next, we have Gotham Knights, which I am gonna be honest here, this game is one of the games I am incredibly hyped for. Like, it looks really good, and the plot's pretty much the same from the trailer. Like, it hasn't really changed too much. Of Batman is supposedly dead, and you know, Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, Robin, who at first I thought it was Damian Wayne, but apparently it's actually Tim Drake, have to band together and protect the city while based in the Belfry, which is something from the early DC Rebirth Detective Comics. You know, they're going to be dealing with a series of villains, though this trailer mostly focused on the Court of Owls, which was really neat. And you can definitely tell that, you know, they took inspiration from both the Batman storyline, but also the Talon solo series, since we do see an owl in a Court of Owls member in a golden mask. Sorry, I fumbled there again, not scripted. And yeah, it is pretty cool. They did say also they're gonna add some extra lore to the Court of Owls, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how this court differentiates from the comic. They definitely show that there are gonna be different variations of the Talons, so you know, we're gonna have different styles of combat. So I'm gonna guess that some Bat family members are gonna have an easier time facing off against a particular form of Tal than the other. Still not clear if we're gonna get any co-op in here. It looks like we're just gonna have to, like, you know, either pick and choose which Bat family member we get, or it's going to be a story thing where like where each chapter is going to focus on a different Bat family member and you get to just play as them, which is also going to be kind of cool. And finally, we have the trailer for The Batman, which, man, this looks cool. This really looks awesome. Matt Reeves' Batman is really playing with the more gritty cop drama in there. We see more of Riddler. It looks like he's gonna be incarcerated for most of it, so Batman's gonna have to try to figure out how to stop the Riddler, while also trying to figure out how he's doing these crimes outside of his jail cell. I do kind of wonder if we're gonna have a secret villain pop up in here, like there's gonna be a mastermind behind the scenes manipulating everybody, but I'm cool if it's just Riddler. Again, they're kind of basing him off of, you know, antagonists like Hannibal Lecter, John Doe from Seven, and shockingly enough, there's some inspiration from the real life Zodiac killer, which is, you know, pretty interesting, but also pretty disturbing. But yeah, the cinematography looks great. The costumes look awesome. We get to see more of Bruce and Selina's relationship, which is really neat. As much as I love the Nolan films, I definitely felt like Dark Knight Rises could have done more with Batman and Selina. So this will be interesting. All around, I really dug what we saw in DC Nation, you know, 2021. And yeah, I'm just gonna close it there. Like, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys later. Also, I want to wish my brothers happy birthday. They just turned 21, and I hope they had fun, and hopefully they didn't do anything stupid.